Now I'd like to invite Dr. Anne Prisco, President, Holy Family University, to address the panel. Dr. Anne, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. It is truly an honor to be here at the United Nations celebrating women and girls in science. I am grateful to our hosts, including Razed and Her Royal Highness Princess Nazreen Al Hashemite, for convening this international event and conversation at this important moment. I also want to acknowledge all the young people and students in the room, and thank you for joining us today, because you truly are our future. By framing this assembly around synergizing AI, social science, STEM, and finance, Her Royal Highness has given us a powerful compass, as we've been hearing today. It reminds us that scientific progress, cultural understanding, and inclusion must move forward together. Science and technology alone do not create inclusive futures. People do. SASE does. And the bridge between innovation and impact is social science, how individuals behave, how institutions make decisions, and how power and resources are distributed. That bridge has defined much of my own professional journey. I am the president of Holy Family University, so I come to you with, again, another micro story of something I hope you deem successful. I am an economist and a lifelong educator. I am also a first-generation college graduate, which means I'm the first in my family to attend college, and I'm also the child of an immigrant. So when I talk about moving knowledge to action, this is not abstract to me. Education is where evidence meets lived experience. Sustainability in my work is not theoretical. It is about where people, especially women and first-generation students, can turn opportunity into lasting economic security. But to understand why that goal remains so elusive, we have to step back and look at the broader system, because truly it is about structures and systems. A clear pattern emerges, one that has less to do with talent or effort and much more to do with structure. Across OECD countries, students whose parents do not complete upper secondary education are significantly less likely to complete it themselves and far less likely to earn a university degree. Gender shows a similar paradox. Women now outpace men in college completion, yet over a lifetime they're still earning about 3/4 of what a man earns. That is why sustainable goals 4, 5, and 10 matter so deeply. Education, gender equity, and economic mobility are not separate challenges. They are one system, and if sustainability is truly about the future, social justice cannot be optional. It has to be structural. So if we know that inequality is not accidental and that access alone is not enough, the next question is, what does the evidence tell us to do differently? The good news is we already know a great deal of what works. Research across OECD countries shows that credentials alone are not enough. Social science consistently shows us that we need early integration, structured support, and a sense of belonging, and perhaps making sure we can get home for dinner. That significantly improves persistence, especially for women and first-generation students. At Holy Family University, I offer that we act on this evidence. We have programs that embed advising, tutoring, mental health support, and internship and career counseling as core features, not add-ons to their educational experience. Since implementing these supports, we've seen retention and graduation rise. We also see evidence reflected in real people. 94% of our graduates move right into a career or graduate school. Their success is not accidental. It was designed. It proves that access and outcomes can improve together. Of course, social science also shows us what doesn't work. One clear example is technology and education. OECD research finds that digital tools, when used poorly, produce mixed or even negative results. Technology's impact depends on how it is implemented. Without thoughtful design and human judgment, even innovation can reinforce inequality. Progress does exist. Women's representation in parliaments is rising. Girls' access to education continues to improve. but social science teaches us the same lesson again and again. Equity does not emerge naturally from access. It has to be designed. Ensuring women thrive is not just about fairness. It is essential to sustainable economies and responsible innovation. And as noted in our opening by Her Royal Highness, mothers are our first teachers. And while these goals guide us, the work to achieve them begins locally. When we think about sustainability, we start small, with the communities where our students live, learn, and grow. Student success doesn't stop at the classroom door. It ripples outward, shaping families, neighborhoods, and local economies. At Holy Family University, we see this every day. Our students reflect the communities around us, and our work begins there. Through partnerships with employers, schools, nonprofit organizations, our elected government officials, we have designed programs that connect learning to opportunity right where students live. We support professional development, integrate technology thoughtfully into our classrooms, and create service learning and workforce pathways that strengthen the local community. By starting at this micro level, we ensure that education doesn't just grant credentials. It builds networks and creates real lasting opportunity for students and all those around them. But these local efforts are part of a much larger question. How does lasting change actually take root? If we are serious about sustainability, then we must be serious about how change actually happens. Social science gives us evidence. Institutions give us leverage, and partnership gives us scale. And now we stand at a crossroads. Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, which we're hearing a lot about today, are reshaping education, labor markets, and opportunities faster than our norms, policies, or ethics can keep up. And all too often, we are repeating old mistakes, using new tools to reinforce old inequities, training algorithms on biased systems, automating exclusion, confusing efficiency with justice. So I want to end with a question. If we already know how inequality is produced, why would we allow our most powerful technologies to reproduce it at scale? And perhaps the harder question, will we use AI to widen opportunity, or will we once again mistake access for equity and innovation for progress? Sustainability demands that we choose differently, and social science shows us that we can. If we're willing to design for the future we claim we want. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prisco, for being part of this panel and for your important remarks.